Good morning. This morning I'm walking up Grasmoor, which is easily reached from Buttermere. I think what's interesting about this particular walk is how it's right on the periphery of the Lake District. So once you're up there along these tops, you're looking across relatively flat plains rather than the undulations of the Lake District hills. In one direction anyway. In the other direction it's just as hilly and interesting as other parts of the Lake District, but that's what's characteristic of this particular walk, I think. It's a wonderful day and I'll just show you a bit of the view. So that's Grasmoor, that's where I'm going. And just to locate it and give you some further interesting stuff to see, that's the Buttermere Fells over there. There are actually two ways up to Grasmoor from where I started, which is a little place called Lanthwaite Green. From there you can go up onto a ridge which begins with a very steep climb, and then along the top you get views across to quite flat plains which leads in that direction to Scotland basically, and the Solway Firth. Or you can come up a little gully with a stream, which I'm doing. I've decided to do this in preference to going along the top of the ridge, because I've been along that ridge several times before and I've never actually been up this little stream gully, and I'm glad I made the decision, because from the top it looks a bit dull actually when you look down here, but it's a lovely little stream gully. So I'm going up this way, which is a new experience for me, a micro new experience. It's not because I'm not familiar with the area or I've seen it from different vantage points, but I've never actually come up this little stream track before, so I'm enjoying this. So there's the ridge which you can go up to from Lanthwaite Green, and I certainly recommend that for the first time you might want to do this particular walk. Take in that ridge as well. First, second or even third time. I have done it a few times now, so there's no novelty for me, whereas in fact this nice little gully is a slight novelty for me. It ends up at the same place at the end there, which is my destination. This is the top of the gully. I think it's called Gasgale, and here's where you get your first real substantial views of Grasmoor, which is where I'm going. There's Grasmoor. I love these intersection areas because once you get to the top here, different paths radiate out. So that's where you go if you take the ridge. You go up to that hill and then down that rather pretty hill over there, and then coming over here you're looking towards the Keswick and Borrowdale direction, and as you can see there's this lovely coating of snow on the top, but it's not uniformly white, which is lovely, but it can get a bit, well, is it boring? I don't know. But anyway, when it's like this, you've got the variation of the vegetation and the snow lying on the tops and hiding in the crevices, so it's very attractive. I am enjoying this, and that's looking down towards the Keswick area, and you can go up that hill up to that one there from the Keswick area. You have to go out to a place called, I think it's called Portinscale, but I can't remember precisely. I've done the walk, but I'm not always good on names because I don't pay much attention to names, to be honest. And you can go up that ridge there from, let me think, well, the Borrowdale area again. So it's a lovely intersection point, this. I've enjoyed it before for precisely the same reason. You reach this point and you think, oh yeah, and last summer I was there, and autumn I was there, and you know, these memories just flit through your mind like happy dreams. But they're located on the land. That's what's fun and interesting. They're located on the land, and that is Grasmoor over there, which is where I'm going next. I don't know if that hill on the right is technically part of the Grasmoor mountain, but the actual peak of Grasmoor as such, where the cairn is, I think there's a cairn there, or if not a cairn, a trig point, I think one or the other, is the second hill behind. So the topography can be not quite what you expect sometimes in terms of names, and also what you see and what you think is the top and what isn't. I remember coming up through this gully several times, and there's some water to drink to the right, which you can't hear now, but I have been here before and was desperately in need of a drink. And there's a very handy water source, a little stream just to the right, which you can't even hear now because of the snow, and it'll be to some extent iced over. So here I am at the top of Grasmoor, and I'll show you the views a little bit. It's a stunning day. It's quite warm really. As soon as the wind picks up, of course it gets cold, but there isn't much wind. There's a slight cold breeze, but that's about it. So this is the Grasmoor plateau, which is quite big, so you can spend 30 minutes just peacefully wandering around here, picking out photographs and viewpoints and memories. Picking up memories, that's a nice way of describing what I do. So that direction is actually towards Scotland, over there. And it's relatively flat, as you can see, and then you reach the Solway Firth, which I know sort of geographically, but I've never actually been there or seen it, but it's just a large estuary, the other side of which is Scotland. So it's nice to be oriented like this when you're in the hills. You know your directions and you know where you are. So that over there is Scotland in the distance. Sometimes you can just pick out the beginnings of the low Scottish hills, the lowlands, on a very clear day, haze-free, which is not the case today. So it just recedes into the blue-grey. And over there is looking towards the Keswick area. That's Lowes water over there. That grey patch of lake over there. It's a lovely part of the Lake District, this. It's not dramatic. It smooths out the hills lower and the undulations smooth out, and it's very peaceful. Not many people come to these parts. But then 30 minutes away walking or 30 minutes along the road, you've got the dramatic adventurous stuff. So it's a fabulous place, this around here. I can feel the heat of the sun on my face, which is already red, so I might be a little bit, well, I wouldn't say burnt, but affected by the sun in some way, reddened by the sun, yeah. Even though it's not a particularly strong sun day when you get to this altitude, and also when it reflects off the snow, I can feel the light reflecting off the snow. At times actually I've been blinded. Your eyes just can't adjust to too much brightness, which makes me think, well, next time I come to the hills in conditions like this, bring a pair of sunglasses. So this is looking toward Lowes water again. That's Crummock Water. There's a valley just down there, around about the centre, which is famous for its bluebells, the Ranadale bluebells. But I don't think there'll be any there now. Buttermere. The ridge along the top is Red Pike, High Stile and High Crag. And that's looking over to Great Gable. So it's a fantastic viewpoint from Grasmoor. Panoramic viewpoint. You can walk around and gaze off in all directions for these sort of wonderful views. Grassy trek, grassy trek. So after you do the stony part of the route down from Grasmoor this way, yeah, you do reach some nice cushioning grass. It's just very peaceful and soothing to walk on this at the end of the day, I find. So this is lovely. I think it just soothes the body after, you know, the rough stuff, and it soothes the mind as well, because you don't have to concentrate so much